latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Telling you guys a video review on a product from EasyCamp. So with me today I've got the EasyCamp Wimberly touring awning. So the Wimberly has been a model that's been kind of in EasyCamp's range for a couple of years now, so I thought it'd be worth doing kind of a little video review on it. It's all designed to be something that's very inexpensive to buy, offers you a good amount of space, and more importantly, kind of you've got your basic features in there. Now, the touring range, there's quite a few ones in the range. You can go from the Fairfields to the Shamrock to the new kind of Flex Canopy. So again, it's all very price-orientated products that are something that, you know, aren't going to, well, set the world alight, but kind of certainly from probably, it's more meant to be good value for money. And I think for certainly the Wimberly does kind of fall into that bracket. So what we've got really here is a 410 by 260 deep awning. It's quite boxy in terms of its design. It's a bit different as well. It's not something you really see out on the market, certainly when it comes to poled. So we've got fiberglass poles going sort of crossways, and then two bracelet poles either side. So 12.7mm fiberglass poles for the main kind of arches, and then the braces around about 8.5mm. So again, it's just kind of constructed to give it a bit more stability from all the way around. We've got a really quite a nice sort of about 70 denier material, about 3000mm high studded head. So it's ample amount of waterproofing and a fairly decent denier. The thing that surprises me about this, I'd definitely probably say that the Wimberly is probably the best in that touring collection, certainly from what you pay for what you get. I think internal space wise it works out the best, and design wise is a little bit different, as I previously said. There's essentially pole sleeves that run along the top, clips that go directly onto the fiberglass poles themselves, and then obviously guide points that's coming secluded. The ground sheet inside of this is very much kind of like a bathtub style, so it raises itself up, but it physically velcros to the excess, and what you find is it's velcro points almost maybe in the corners and in the middle part. So you do have maybe points about a foot or so around the perimeter of kind of the awning where you might have gaps coming in. And again, I think for the price point, you know, it does what it says in the tin. The price very much reflects, I think, a little bit of the finish of it as well. It's not got every nook and cranny or a really sort of tied up in a bow tailored finish. But I think, like I said, for what you pay, it's fairly decent. We've got low level ventilation points beneath here. The tunnel sections are only about 30-40 centimeters. There's no tunnel door in and out, but it allows you to come out of the van and into the main part of the awning. We've got different connection methods, so you can either use it's got a 7mm beading, which will go into any kind of normal C channel or reamer rail. You can obviously put a fixed kit onto that and then transform that onto the actual rail itself, or a wind-out awning. You've got throw guide points here that can literally obviously go over the top of the awning, sort of the van, guide it on the other side and bring that material nice and tight to the vehicle itself. There's also a Velcro loop. So if you have like roof bars or roof rack, you can always tug it around there just to get a bit more support. The internal height is obviously quite decent as well. You can see it sort of sits a bit taller than the van, and obviously it can then, from there, water can shed itself away from the van itself. You've also got adjustment straps to adjust the height. Now, in terms of the height fitting range, it starts around about 180 and goes up to about 205. So it's quite a neat small little size. But for most kind of VWs or transporter customs and things like that, it's more than enough as you need. This kind of brow canopy, well, to a certain extent, means that you've got a very flat door to maximise your internal space. Also what you find is there's a really nice sort of air vents here to help with airflow as well, and the door itself seals itself and rolls from right to left. The ground sheet in the front area kind of drops up and drops down, so you either have it down to create a trip-free access into the actual awning itself, then it toggles up to kind of get that better seal. We'll bring the kind of camera around a little bit just to kind of get a bit more of a better view of the inside of the awning. So as we look directly down it, you probably get a better idea straight away. So what we've got here is obviously two windows located on the front section, and we have two windows on the side. These curtains, they've got curtains located behind it that just kind of toggle up into place to kind of give that enclosure, and then they've got a mesh vent vertically right up the top. Other things to mention is the fact that you've got sort of maybe 4 main pegging points to the ground sheet. in the corners, so you can get it looking a bit tighter. I think it definitely fits a bit tighter in this model in comparison probably to the others. In the back door we've got here is the door itself sort of opens from right to left. So what you find is you can either have two zip pullers, bring it down like so to create a little veranda into that back tunnel section. Failing that, if you use it more in a conventional method, take the zip pullers directly down, and because it's kind of more designed for a European, it zips back this way. The reason being is that it follows kind of the contours of the van, so you can roll it back like so. For the UK market, we're not really going to do that because mostly the tunnel sliding doors open this way, so it finds you have an opening in the van this side and then a blank wall that side. So really you've got to kind of take it all the way open. When you take it open itself, you can untoggle it from the ground sheet, and then there's a little kind of storage pockets built into the awning, and it just kind of the whole door section goes directly in there. Like I said, we'll bring the camera in actually, might be a better feel for in the internal sides of it at least. So kind of as we come inside, like I say, it's a decent sort of size, a good sort of depth to it, because you've got a very flat front, you can really kind of maximise your internal space. Here's the vents I talked about at the start. Also you've got that little view out onto the campsite through the kind of the windows you got there, and the curtains located beneath them. Load of ventilation points on both the panels, which are essentially blank, and probably a bit better idea about that whole kind of ground sheet scenario. So you can see there's obviously a gap there, but then it velcros in the main kind of corners and toggles up, sorry, the main corners, and in the centre part as well. So it kind of gives a sort of better seal, and like I said, it fits probably the best in the range. From the tunnel door side of the scenario, the bottom bit you can obviously peg down a little bit to kind of give you a little bit more or less trip-free access in, but it's a larger tunnel on the Wimberly, so what you find is actually the door will open up inside of it, so then you've got full kind of access to the van itself, for a bit of absolute mess. And then you've got a small little kind of section here to kind of come in and out, but this area is always designed to be more of a sheltered point of entrance anyway. So kind of as we come out of the awning, we kind of tailor ourselves around the back. You can see kind of the very kind of boxy frame to it, and then obviously how it sits against the vehicle itself. Now the vehicle fit will be different depending on obviously what vehicle you've got and what height you're going to. But you've got your main kind of tension points, and kind of overall kind of quite a good lot of talking points in general. But overall I think it's quite, like I said, it's something nice and different. It offers, I think, a good amount of space for not a lot of money at all. I've struggled to find something that you would find that's going to be this sort of size at a better price point. Yes, I suppose the zips are, in terms of the zip diameter size, aren't the biggest. The ground sheet's not physically sewn in, it's toggled in, there's obviously gaps around the outside, and I think that's where I was talking about, you know, price reflecting what you're getting. And I think it's no true with kind of Easy Camp's range is that it's not the most, it's probably one of the cheapest driveway awning ranges on the market, and it does reflect in terms of the, you know, the details in there, you know, less material here and there, one sort of color tone. You know, all these things do add up and sort of help to reduce the cost of the product. Being Easy Campers still want a good level of quality, so you're not overly compromising there, but it sort of is the finished details and that really kind of make it what it is. For more information, of course, you're more welcome to check the link below this video. It'll take you straight through to our website. We've got more information on things like pack sizes, pack dimensions, floor dimensions, individual features listed, and of course the prices and accessories you can get. It's worth mentioning that you can buy a two-berth in a bedroom to go inside of it as well, so you wanted to accommodate those extra guests, you could quite happily. One final thing is actually got a hanging point for a lantern located in the middle as well, and then a Velcro tab leading down, so you can kind of get cable entry normally from the right hand side or as left as you're looking at. But all in all, I think it's probably, like I said, my favourite in the Easy Camp range. Works really well, sizable, spacious, decent to a certain level of spec, but from a price point of view, really keen. And I think that's, you know, you can't take that away from it really. So that's kind of a little video review on the EasyCamp Wimberly driveway awning